Good morning, I'm Shanta Misra on IBN Spotlight. The season of goodwill, generosity and celebration is here once again, and it is perhaps time to think of the less fortunate among us and address some burning issues. It is a common belief that the Asian community in America is a prosperous and successful one. Stories abound of Asian students excelling in academia and winning accolades for their impressive achievements, and of parents who are fast realizing the American dream. Does this represent the whole truth? Unfortunately, it doesn't. The flip side of the coin shows families facing problems in making a successful transition to life in America. In the last 10 years, the influx of about 2 million immigrants converging to the Queens area in New York has made it one of the most racially and ethnically diverse places. Today, many of these families find themselves at high risk of violence, alcoholism, AIDS, child abuse, mental health, educational and employment problems. For many of these children from Korea, China, India, and the Indian subcontinent, school has become an unfriendly and unhappy place, and their homes hardly nurturing or even safe. Thousands of these children are in jeopardy and need to turn to a place of hope and promise of a future. The 41-year-old Queens Child Guidance Center has launched the Asian Outreach Program to cater to the specific language and cultural problems of the Asian community. Geeta, you specifically handle the problems of the immigrants from India and the Indian subcontinent. How do you go about identifying the children who are troubled?
Well, the children who end up coming to Queens Child Guidance Center can be identified either in one of the ways. One, here teachers, if they find a child comes in to school disheveled or looks like troubled, or if a child himself or herself says there are trouble at home, teachers then would direct the child to the guidance counselors. And now, since the Asian Outreach Program has come and our social workers are going to schools in Elmhurst, Corona, Jackson Heights, Flushing, they are identifying some of the children who then end up coming to Queens Child Guidance Center.
What are the most common problems that you are handling?
See, in the areas that we serve right now, there is a large influx of new immigrants who are struggling to settle down in this country. And with that initial phase of immigration and settling down comes the stress of living in a foreign culture. And children can get very depressed if their parents are fighting or are having financial problems. Children sometimes have self-doubt about themselves as to who am I? What am I? Why do I look different than everyone else? If they have language problems, some children have learning disabilities that are never picked up before. And so these are some of the basic problems we see. What happens in South Asian families or Asian families per se, whether they are from Taiwan, India, China, Pakistan, there is very little understanding of mental health as such. Also that we have an inherent faith that either this is due to what I must have done, or if you go to the temple and pray and do a 5 pujas, it should be all right. So we have a way of putting things on the back burner. And as a result, sometimes what happens is the family seeks outside help too late. Every family, no matter how well they are doing in this country, today or tomorrow, goes through an initial period of adjustment and goes through a heightened sense of loss.
Sure.
And as a result, if any family is going through any kind of stress, first thing I would advise the family is sit down with your children and talk to them.
The staff who handle these delicate and personal problems are highly trained and totally committed to their jobs and treat these cases with the strictest confidentiality. With the need to increase their services, the Asian Outreach Program is confronted with an immediate funding problem. Smriti, how have you been funding yourself since the inception 1.5 years ago?
Well, we do have grants from Department of Mental Health, which is a part of the city of New York, and we also have gotten some funding from different foundations. Basically, that's what we've done. We've also been, the patients that come in, they are normally charged on a sliding scale. So those are the 3 ways that we've really funded the program so far.
Do the families that come for these services have to pay?
First of all, the services that we provide in the school districts is free, totally free. Families, as I said, the families that come in pay on a sliding scale, but we've never turned anybody away. I mean, if you cannot pay the fees, does not mean that you cannot make use of these services at the center. So nobody's ever turned back just because they could not pay.
So will the recently proposed budget cuts by Mayor Giuliani be adversely affecting you?
Yes, initially, as you know, that Giuliani had cut 100% money that was going into alcoholism and mental retardation. But it's not nobody's very clear about what's going to happen as of today. So things that they're still working something out. But, I am told by the center that it might not affect the children's money that is coming towards the children's causes. But as I said, it's nothing sure yet.
What are your immediate fundraising attempts?
Well, we are coming out with a very big fundraiser, which is going to happen tomorrow at Shan Restaurant in Manhattan at 5:30. The main purpose of doing this fundraiser is fundraising. One of the reasons is to bring some funds in. As I said, the center is city and state funded, but they've set up the center for us. They've set up the Asian Outreach Clinic for us. But, they came to us and they said, what is the community doing for you? I don't know if you're aware that the Asian outreach program that we have, it also caters to Chinese, Koreans, and the Indian subcontinent. So the Chinese and the Koreans have done very well as far as bringing money in. It's high time that the Indians do something, and that's why we've set up this fundraiser.
What if one of our viewers would like to attend this dinner tomorrow? How do they go about it?
They could call one of us at the numbers that are coming on the screen, or they could come there and buy the tickets right at the site, at the restaurant.
And all these contributions are tax exempt?
Yes, they are.
This is an outreach for your help and support. In the spirit of the season, why not share your happiness and progress with the less fortunate? You could volunteer your services, or when you reach out for that checkbook, be generous in supporting this worthy cause. I'm Shanta Misra. Till we meet again on IBN Spotlight, let us spread the spirit of sharing and caring all around us.